Engine swaps aren't always giggles and smiles. Sometimes you have hiccups to humble you and prove that you're not a master mechanic. In this video, I'll be solving some of those hiccups and hopefully turning my 370Z into a reliable road machine. Let's go. We're just gonna jump right into this thing and get the oil pan back on so that way we can clear up some space. Plus, I'd like to get the engine off of these engine straps, or they're not even engine straps. I'd like to get the engine off of these straps. So here we go. All right, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna swap all of these fittings and bungs over to this pan. That way it's ready to go. To do so, with the oil pan finally back on, it's time to tackle the subframe and get the front end back together. Moving on to the fuel system, here we have the CJ Motorsports twin pump assembly. It's going to be replacing my old road race pump from CJM to simplify things. The old Walbro 255 needs to be replaced, and the new setup will make maintenance easier if I ever need to fix anything or make any changes. With that being said, I'll be throwing in a Walbro 525, which should be more than enough fuel for what I've got. I also got the additional surge canister to go along with the assembly, which helps prevent fuel starvation as well. With that being said, let's keep going. So with the top hat that I got with my fuel setup, it came with a -6 ORB fitting, but with a -6 AN fitting, I need a -8. That ridge there is starting to hit. I'm gonna make a little modification to this. Hopefully I can make it work. It worked. A little tightening, we're good to go. All right, so this is gonna be kind of hard to film because everything happens in the tank. It is somewhat of an involved installation, but I'll try to get it as good as I can. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try. Now when you repin this, I've got a new connector for this. I did a few more things off camera. I will probably also run the ground wire for the fuel pump off camera and the new fuel line. I'll probably do all that off camera because it's not really that exciting. All right, so this is where the factory fuel float goes. Due to the old setup, I actually threw away the factory hanger or the plastic bracket or whatever that sits here. So naturally what I do, I threw it away. I ordered a new one. Funny story, this is actually the second order of the new one with the O-rings and the thing here, because I threw that one away after I ordered it brand new on accident. I didn't realize the box had anything in it because the box is super light, and I threw it away. So this is actually order number 2. Shout out to Z1 Motorsports for getting it to me so quickly, but we're gonna put this in. All right, there it is. Okay, so I finished the fuel pump wiring and all the fuel pump stuff off camera because that stuff was probably kind of boring. Ran the fuel lines, all that good stuff. Now it's time to find out how I'm gonna run my battery ground through the car. Y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but hear me out for a second. So I'm pretty sure, ignore the bracket here, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mount the battery like so and have the ground wire run up through here. There's no good way of running it underneath the car. So I think I'm gonna run it through the cabin of the car and put the bulkhead right here. There's gonna be no clearance issues with it right here. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't just drill a hole in my car for no reason. For the battery ground, I'll be using a rad sock connector to pass through the floor pan. It's a nice clean way for routing larger gauge wiring through firewalls and in my case, the floor pan. A little ugly, but I didn't realize those bolts are gonna be so long. Oh well, it's gonna do the job though. So the idea is to be able to run the cable, and that's the connection. And the seat rail goes over, it's got plenty of clearance. I think foreshadowing, maybe not, hopefully not. Run that wire through here, back that way. It's just easy as 1, 2, 3. Nice and sturdy. I'll get a strap to put around here. Here we have our ground wire that we're gonna run. I moved circuit breaker, got all the wires hooked up, and I was able to keep the wires the same way. I didn't have to make anything new for the positive side, but I am gonna have to make a new one for the ground. So I'm gonna run this pretty similar to the same way, and then we're gonna connect it to our rad lock connector under the passenger seat. All right, we got our wire cut to size. It's time to crimp this end on. And we're gonna put some Insultherm on there. This is sheathing that's made out of fiberglass. It's got excellent heat resistance and abrasive resistance as well. So let's go ahead and start doing that because it's a long wire. Putting this stuff on is not the most fun thing in the world, but we'll get it done. All right, it's a good crimp. Take our Insultherm. This stuff is not the easiest to work with, but all right, we've got it all loomed up. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little heat shrink on there. This is Raychem SCL and has an adhesive on the inside. So once it gets warm, it'll adhere itself to the components and make a nice tight squeeze. All right, I've got the wire run all the way through the car the way that I want it to. I'm gonna cut this end off and then crimp the rad lock fitting onto it so that way it'll fit here and the interior side of this will be done. All right, there it is. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, I'll admit, but I'm not really working on great time here. Got the ground wires all done for the battery. This is gonna go to the chassis. This goes to the battery. That's a pretty good representation of me versus the guy you tell me not to worry about. Battery ground, check. And so now we start getting all this stuff back together. I gotta put the fender liner back in, put the bumper back on. Next, I've gotta wire my blinkers up to the thing, wire my blinkers up to the dash because they weren't wired properly last time. My fault, I'm an idiot, I know, it's all good. But here we go. So one thing that I would like to fix is maybe add a connector somewhere right there to make this a little bit easier. Still have the ground for the fuel pump. I know it's red. I ran out of wire. Run out of time. You guys start making concessions. I'm about to hook the battery up. We're gonna see if anything catches on fire. So far, no. That's always a good sign. Battery is connected. Well, I didn't bore y'all with the wiring part. Honestly, I didn't film it because I didn't do what I should have done. I didn't sheath it. I'll do that later. I'm gonna rewire the whole car eventually. So let's go in there and see if it works. All right, working with, we're cooking with gas now, cooking with gas. See if this thing turns on. That's what's up. Moment of truth here we go. Oh, yeah, that's what's up. Yes. I love when a plan comes together. And the plan did come together. Kind of. Well, I did make it over to the Tail of the Dragon. Had a good time, actually. Didn't really have any major issues. I did at one point have a slight issue. Well, it's not a trip to the mountains unless my car breaks down. Broke down again. The engine belt flew off on the Hellbender, but fortunately we were able to find it, and now my friends are gonna go pick up some tools for me so I can put it back on. Taking a little bit of a closer look at things, it appeared that my power steering pump wasn't lined up. I'm assuming I was sent the wrong spacing for my accessories on that, because I did order the right one. I did. It wasn't lined up right. So I did end up, when I got back, ordered a new one from Fueled Racing. Got it. It's on there. But it was, overall, it was a great trip. So it is January. I filmed all of that stuff that we saw in the earlier part of the video back in September, September, something like that, right before my trip. I don't really have any excuses. We had the holidays and a few other things going on during that time period. So yeah, so it took a little while to get it out. Unfortunately, another unfortunate event, I was driving it shortly after Christmas, I think it was the day after Christmas maybe, and I broke something. Something popped. The car doesn't move anymore under its own power. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I think it may be, or at least I'm hoping that it's an axle. That would be nice and nothing more expensive. Everything did go to plan until it didn't at the end, and it's been a little while, so I figured I would continue making these videos because I actually enjoy doing it. But hopefully one of these days, have enough time to take a look at it. I'm having surgery soon, so it's going to be a while. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a while. I'll get around, I'll take a look at it, and I'll probably end up documenting that as well. Well, and until the next one. Well, until the next one. You know. I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing. You know how weird it is talking to a camera? There's no one else here. You just feel like an idiot, and you just do weird stuff like, Anyway, hide my hand. Anyway, yeah. Till the next one.